The next thing we're going to talk about is the feminine appearance. And this is where we are going to look at some of these pamphlets. And basically what we're going to talk about, let me flip to my notes here. When it comes to beauty and appearance, this is an aspect of beauty. We are talking about the feminine appearance. You want to make your outfits beautiful. You want to put some effort into how you look. You want your clothes to match. There should be, sometimes it helps to study like color theory, what colors go together, and then learn your personal coloring. Some women are known as winters, some are summers, some are autumns. I'm a winter. I don't know what you are, but find that out. Google color theory and it'll come up. Forget the name. It's like color theory for people or something. I forget the name. I'll try and put it in the description. But basically figure out what your personal color scheme is. Everybody has one and they usually fall into like 4 distinct types. So find out which of the 4 you are, and then you'll learn what colors look good on you, what patterns look good on you. Are you petite? Are you tall? Are you short? There are certain styles, are you pear-shaped? Are you apple-shaped? Are you hourglass-shaped? Figure out your body shape, not just colors, but figure out your body shape, and then you'll figure out clothes that make you look good. But the number one thing that comes into attracting men when it comes to clothing is, contrary to popular belief, if you want to attract a quality man, you don't want to have everything hanging out. Men will pay attention to women that are in mini skirts, and they got their boobs hanging out and everything. Men will pay attention to that, but it's the kind of attention that is often very short-lived. And it is not the kind of attention that makes a man go, oh yeah, I want her to be the mother of my kids and I want to stay in her life forever. No, that's the guy that's like, oh, she'd probably be for a good time. You don't want to dress in a way that looks cheap, that shows too much skin. And this is a bit of a sore spot nowadays because women have been taught that it's empowering to reveal themselves and show a lot of skin and look very, kind of hypersexual in their dress. There's a lot of boobs hanging out. Your legs are often showing, your form, the clothes are often very tight. And again, it can be very hard to find clothes. I speak from experience because some of you may have the problem, some of us are more curvy than others. Some of us just have bigger boobs and bigger hips and there's just more to cover up. Let's just put it that way. And so sometimes it can be very hard because it can just be hard to find clothes that are modest, and that don't end up looking like really kind of suggestive. But the effort is worth it because you are showing the kind of woman you are by how you dress. And again, this is the kind of thing that's going to hit a lot of nerves. But if you want to attract a quality man, don't show a lot of skin. Don't show a lot of your body shape. Don't really put it all on display out there. Men find women very attractive intrinsically, and so it will come off like you're trying too hard if you're showing a lot of skin and everything. And again, this is not what women are told. There basically has become an attitude in society that a woman is empowered and that it's good to look, wear skimpy clothes, that it's empowering, and that if you got it, flaunt it. And I feel like, frankly, that's a lie, and that's a con job and wool that's been pulled over women's eyes. Because if you talk to men and you observe, more importantly, if you observe their choices and their behavior, you will see that they do not pick the woman to be a lifetime partner. They don't pick the woman who is like, really exposed and letting it all hang out. They will pick the woman that tends to dress in, she's a little more classy about it. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to have a certain beauty in how you look. There is, again, our culture is different. And this is probably an unusual thing to hear, especially when it comes to attracting men. It's like, how could I attract a man if I'm showing less, not more? But in other videos, we're going to get into the psychology of men a little bit. But one of them is men want what they can't have. frankly. They are more motivated by what they aren't seeing than what they are. You know, if he can tell that there's something moving under a sweater, he's going to be way more interested in seeing it rather than, you know, if you just like put it all out there, you know. Men are just, they're different. They're different like that. So that is something. And then really the other thing about, you know, a beautiful feminine appearance that is important in attracting men is you want to look like a woman. You want to dress. Again, this is if you want to attract men, you want to wear dresses or skirts. You know, men are it kind of sends a signal to them, like a subconscious signal. Oh, this is a girl. I have to be nice to her. When I was in high school, I didn't know this, you know, but I did notice that, because I would wear pants when I was in high school. You know, I would wear like jeans. I'd wear like low-rise, kind of like bell-shaped jeans. They weren't like bell bottoms, but they had a flare. And I noticed that when I wore a skirt to school, the boys at school were nicer to me. I didn't understand the principle. I didn't really understand much of it at all. All I knew was when I wore a skirt, guys were nicer to me. But then on days I wore pants, I feel like I got a little more overlooked, or maybe I was just like treated like one of the guys. It was just, I didn't really notice anything when I wore pants. It was just when I wore a skirt, I noticed they were nice to me. And I encourage you to try the same experiment in your life. You know, if you have a job or maybe you're still in college, I'm telling you, wear skirts and observe how the men treat you versus on a day you wear pants. I'm telling you, there's a difference there. It's really unusual. More recently, I've even had men, you know, I'll be walking into like a Barnes and Noble and they will literally look at the skirt and then open the door for me. It's not even like, it just happens so fast to like glance at it, and it's weird. But again, you know, you want to look like a woman, you know, so dresses and skirts, wear those as much as you can. Obviously, if you're going to go rock climbing or riding bikes together, like, yeah, you don't want to wear a skirt for that. But again, whenever you can, try to wear a skirt, one that's kind of flowy, you know, and swishy. I once read online on a YouTube comment, a man left a comment. It was guys talking to other guys. Sometimes I like lurk on the guy videos, you know, just to see what they have to say about women, you know, like dating advice, like for guys from guys, you know, like, yeah, one guy said sundresses are kryptonite. And I was like, ooh, note taken, you know. But again, so yeah, you want to look like a woman in your clothes. You want your clothes to be kind of flowy, you know, and, you know, not too tailored. You don't want to go, you know, you don't want anything that looks like something a man would wear. You know, you want your clothes, the color choices, you know, it's feminine to have bright colors, you know. Maybe you're the kind of color palette, your skin tone and everything doesn't work well with bright colors. You know, pastels are another good one, you know, soft pastel colors, soft pinks, soft purples, you know, colors like that, colors that a guy usually wouldn't wear. Now, that's kind of a harder thing to figure out than it used to be. When these pamphlets were written, it was the 30s, and then even in Fascinate, this book here, it was in the 60s. And back then, men were still pretty masculine. I feel like nowadays there's been so much gender bending that, yeah, a lot of guys will wear pink, you know, and you'll be like, okay. But again, you want to wear something with a flattering color on you, you know, whatever color that is. Again, get your colors done. There are like color consultants, you know, people who you can, for a consultant fee, they will look at you and they'll figure out what your color thing is. I went to one called David Zyla. He was pretty good. He was expensive, but he was pretty good, and he did my color palette. But, you know, it doesn't have to be him. Find somebody, you know, that's into that. So, the feminine appearance. Basically, you want to look like a girl. The feminine appearance is acquired by accentuating the difference between yourself and men, not the similarities. You know, you want to accentuate. Remember I talked about in another video that the essence of attraction is contrast. So, you know, you want to look like a girl. Men never wear anything fluffy, lacy, gauzy, or elaborate. Use such materials, therefore, whenever you can. Let's see. So materials, you know, she's saying avoid materials like tweeds, herringbone, hard finish woolens, denims, plaids, pinstripes, geometrics. These are materials that men wear. Now, having said that, I come from a bit of a gothic fashion sense, and things like plaids and pinstripes, I really like. But if you look even at like gothic stuff, again, things like pinstripes, you know, black is a very masculine color, believe it or not. Here, I'm over here wearing black. But, you know, men will often kind of bemoan the fact that, you know, women just wear black, they don't wear color, you know. Men like it when women wear bright colors, you know, or pastels, you know, just color in general. Guys are kind of sick of seeing women in black all the time. However, when you look at gothic women, they will play with pinstripes, black, but you'll notice that they'll often be wearing a ton of makeup, or they'll have a really elaborate hairstyle, you know, so there's still that like femininity there to like counterbalance like the black and the pinstripes. So that's something interesting to keep in mind. You can bend these rules, but you have to compensate somewhere else so that overall you are still presenting a contrast. You are still looking very feminine. You know, that's often why the little black dress, you know, can often be very feminine, because it's often worn in a very formal setting where you have an elaborate hairstyle, you're wearing very elaborate makeup, you know, so the femininity is still there and it's compensating for that dark masculine color. But again, feminine colors, feminine fabrics, you know, anything soft, anything drapey. Again, you have to tailor it to your own personal style, but a good rule of thumb with the feminine appearance is you want to look like a woman, you know?